Hello, brave hearts. Welcome back to the channel. I see you there, boots crusted with ice, shovel in hand, staring at a garden buried under 3 feet of snow while the wind howls like a hungry wolf. I know that ache, the one that comes when your pantry shelves thing in February, when grocery bills spike as trucks slide off frozen highways, and the only fresh produce is a sad plastic-wrapped pepper shipped from 1,000 miles away. What if I told you your frozen ground holds a secret? Not just survival food, but feast food, year after year, without replanting a single seed. Today, we're not just growing vegetables, we're growing freedom. Over the next hour, I'll guide you through 10 edible perennials that laugh at negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit winters, thrive on neglect, and feed your family when the world goes silent. These aren't pampered garden divas, they're Arctic warriors who've survived ice ages, outlasted empires, and now wait patiently in your soil, ready to rise. I've tested every one through polar vortexes, late frosts that blackened apple blossoms, and years when I lived on nothing but potatoes and hope. This is gardening as ancestral rebellion. So stoke the wood stove, pour yourself birch sap tea, wrap your hands around this warmth. Let's dig into the deep earth together. Plant number 1, ramp. Allium tricoccum, the forest's first breath. Close your eyes. Breathe in that sharp, wild scent cutting through March's thaw. The smell of ramps pushing through snow like green spears. Native Americans called them the first medicine, a tonic to cleanse winter's stagnation from blood and spirit. But their true magic? They remember the cold. Ramps don't survive freezing temps, they require them. Their bulbs lie dormant under leaf litter while ice crystallizes in the soil, waiting for 10 consecutive 40-degree F days to erupt. I still cry when I find my first patch each spring, a carpet of glossy leaves unfurling beside melting streams. That's not just food, it's a covenant with the land. We protect you, you feed us. Why their cold climate soul food? Deep freeze tolerance. Bulbs survive minus 50-degree F when mulched with oak leaves, their native habitat. Zero maintenance. Once established, they spread freely via seeds and bulblets, no weeding, no watering. Nutrition powerhouse. 3 times more vitamin C than oranges, plus a listen to fight spring colds. Just 5 leaves meet your daily selenium needs. Wildlife harmony. Deer avoid them, strong scent, but pollinators love their June flowers. Planting your forest pharmacy. Soil truth. Must mimic deciduous woods. Dig planting holes 4 inches deep in shady spots under maple or oak trees. Mix soil with 50% rotted leaves plus 50% native dirt. Never use fertilizer, it kills symbiotic fungi. Propagation ritual. Harvest only 1 leaf per plant. Never dig bulbs until patch is 5+ years old. Let 75% of plants flower and drop seeds. Or scatter wild harvested seeds in fall. They need 90 days below 40 degrees F to sprout. Winter protection. After first frost, blanket patches with 6 inches of shredded maple leaves. Snow is their second blanket. Sacred memory. During the 2014 polar vortex, my town was snowed in for 17 days. When thaw finally came, I found ramps pushing through ice-crusted soil. I sautéed them in bare fat with wild onions, a meal that tasted like resurrection. For urban warriors, grow in deep pots, 16 inches plus on north-facing balconies. Fill with woodland soil mix, place under a deciduous shrub for dappled shade. Warning, never confuse with lily of the valley, toxic look-alike. Ramps have 1 leaf per stem and onion scent when crushed. Harvest window, 2 weeks max in April or May, then let them rest. This plant whispers,
True abundance isn't taking everything. It's leaving enough for the forest to remember you.
Plant number 2, rhubarb, the thaw-weathered giant. Look at that cracked, frozen earth. Now, imagine thick, ruby stalks bursting through snow like lava. Rhubarb, the first bold voice of spring. Its secret? Antifreeze in its veins. Rhubarb's sap contains glycoproteins that prevent ice crystals from forming in cells, a trick it learned surviving Siberian tundra winters. But its true gift is forgiveness. Neglect it for years, it'll still feed you. I inherited a patch from my Ukrainian grandmother, planted in 1948, bombed during World War II, abandoned during famine. When I dug there in 2020, its roots spread 12 feet wide. She called it the widow's harvest, always there when nothing else was. Why it's your cold climate lifeline? Extreme cold tolerance. Crowns survive negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit with 6 inches of mulch. Roots dive 6 feet deep to avoid frost heave. Zero replanting. One crown feeds a family for 20 plus years. Divide every 5 years to share with neighbors. Soil healer. Breaks up clay with massive roots while absorbing heavy metals from old gardens. Nutritional anchor. 1 cup of cooked stalks provides 45% of daily vitamin K, critical for bone health in low sun winters. Planting for generational abundance. Soil ritual. Dig a 2-foot wide hole, layer bottom with rotting logs, hugelkultur style. They retain moisture and release heat as they decompose. Fill with 50% compost plus 50% sandy loam. Plant crowns 2 inches below soil, buds facing up. Frost defense. After first snow, pile straw over crowns. Remove in early spring when soil temp hits 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Harvest ethics. Never pick stalks the first year. Year 2, harvest only 1/3 of stalks. Year 3 onward, pull, don't cut stalks when 12 inches long, twist sideways to avoid root damage. Heartfelt story. In 2019, a late frost hit negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit after rhubarb sprouted. I covered plants with old quilts soaked in warm water. By dawn, ice coated the fabric, but beneath it, stalks glowed ruby red. I stewed them with wild strawberries, serving bowls to neighbors whose power was out. For renters, grow dwarf Canada Red in half barrels. Drill drainage holes sideways near the bottom. In spring, berry barrel up to its rim in a shady yard corner. Warning, leaves are poisonous, high oxalic acid. Compost them far from edible beds. Never harvest after July 1st. Plants need energy for winter. This giant teaches, your deepest roots are forged in seasons when the world tries to freeze you solid. Plant number 3, horseradish, Armoraceae rusticana, the firekeeper root. That sharp, sinus-clearing burn in your throat? That's horseradish, the root that remembers fire. Not the watery grocery store version, but true wild horseradish, whose taproot drills 10 feet deep into glacial soil. Its secret weapon? Mustard oils that intensify after frost. The colder the winter, the hotter the root. During Minnesota's 1996 deep freeze, minus 60 degree Fahrenheit wind chill, my horseradish survived under 3 feet of snow while apple trees died. I dug it on Christmas morning, grated it raw into sour cream, and felt warmth flood my chest like liquid courage. This isn't condiment, it's survival medicine. Why it's non-negotiable for cold zones? Unkillable resilience. Roots regenerate from 1-inch fragments left in soil. Survives being frozen solid for months. Pest immunity. Deer, rabbits, and voles avoid it. Pungent oils repel them. Year-round harvest. Best dug after first frost, October, or in early spring before sprouts use root energy. Medicinal depth. Clears sinus infections, boosts circulation in frozen extremities, and fights foodborne pathogens. Planting your living pharmacy. Containment strategy. Plant in bottomless buckets sunk into the ground. Roots escape through drainage holes but stay contained. Ideal soil. 70% sand plus 30% compost. No clay, it causes forked roots. Propagation hack. Save 4-inch root sections after harvest. Store in damp sand in a root cellar. Plant horizontally 4 inches deep in early spring. Frost ritual. After first hard freeze, mulch with straw. For winter harvests, dig through snow. Roots stay crisp below the frost line. Sacred moment. During my father's cancer treatments, horseradish tea was the only thing that eased his nausea.
I'd grate roots on a ceramic plate, metal dulls the oils, steep in hot water with honey, and watch color return to his face. For small spaces, grow in whiskey barrels on a south-facing porch. Sink barrel into the ground for insulation. In zones 3 and 4, wrap barrels with burlap stuffed with dry leaves. Warning: never plant near potatoes, it spreads viral diseases. Wear gloves when grading, oils can blister skin. Harvest window, October through April. This root's covenant, the fiercest warmth, often comes from the deepest cold.
Plant number 4. Sea buckthorn. Hippophae rhamnoides, the northern sun. Imagine a shrub that glows like captured sunset on February's grayest day. Sea buckthorn, the Arctic's golden secret. Native to Siberian tundra, its berries brim with 7x more vitamin C than oranges and omega-7 fatty acids that heal frostbitten skin. But its true superpower? Nitrogen fixation. Its roots partner with soil bacteria to create fertility where nothing else grows, like on road cuts after avalanches. I planted it on my eroded riverbank after floods washed away topsoil. Within 3 years, its roots held the bank, while berries fed winter-starving waxwings. That's not gardening, it's land healing. Why it's essential for frozen resilience? Cold Titan. Survives minus 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Berries actually sweeten after minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit freezes. Sugars act as antifreeze. Soil rebuilder. Thrives in gravel, sand, or toxic mine tailings. Perfect for reclaiming barren yards. Wildlife ark. Berries persist all winter, feeding grouse and foxes when snow covers other food. Human medicine. Juice treats radiation burns, used after Chernobyl. Oil heals cracked hands from shoveling. Planting your golden fortress. Gender truth. Need 1 male plant for every 8 females. Buy nursery-grown clones. Wild seeds produce 50% male plants. Soil ritual. Dig holes 18 inches deep in full sun. Mix native soil with 30% sand plus 1 handful of wood ash, which mimics glacial soils. Never add compost. It encourages weak growth. Winter harvest. Pick frozen berries straight from branches in January. They taste like tropical mangoes. No tartness. Transformation story. In Iceland's volcanic wastelands, sea buckthorn is planted to stabilize lava fields. After the 2010 Eyjafjallajökull eruption, it was the first green thing on ash-covered farms. For urban warriors, grow dwarf Sierra in 20-inch pots. Use gritty soil, 50% pumice and 50% potting mix. Place against a south wall. Radiant heat mimics its native sea cliffs. Warning: thorns are vicious. Wear leather gloves when harvesting. Berries stain permanently. Use glass or stainless steel containers only. Never prune in fall. Winter injury kills new growth. This shrub's wisdom: beauty isn't fragile. True gold is forged in ice. Plant number 5. Nanking cherry, Prunus tomentosa, the snow lover's berry. Forget fussy blueberries that die in Zone 4 winters. Meet Nanking cherry, the tough-as-nails cousin that blooms through snow flurries in April. Native to Manchurian mountains, it survived minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit winters, where Mongol horses froze mid-stride. Its secret? Super-cooled sap. Unlike domestic cherries, its cells don't rupture when ice forms. They dehydrate, concentrating sugars into natural antifreeze. I've watched buds swell under 8 inches of late spring snow, then explode into pink clouds days after thaw. One bush feeds my family 20 quarts of tart, wine-colored berries. No spraying, no babying. My Ojibwe elder calls it the people's berry, always there when store shelves empty. Why it's your cold climate insurance policy? Frost warrior. Flowers tolerate minus 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Berries ripen in 60 days before late frosts hit. Disease-proof. Immune to cherry maggots and fire blight that kills sweet cherries. Soil guardian.
Deep roots 8+ feet. Prevent erosion on slopes where snowmelt floods yards. Nutritional fortress. Berries pack anthocyanins that protect against winter depression. Planting your living pantry. Location ritual. Plant on north slopes. Slows bud break, avoiding late frosts. Space bushes 6 feet apart to create a windbreak hedge. Soil truth. Thrives in poor alkaline soils. Mix 30% crushed limestone into native clay. This mimics its native limestone bluffs. Propagation hack. Root suckers in early spring. Dig up shoots connected to mother plant with roots intact. Replant immediately. Personal revelation. During the 2021 Texas freeze, my Nanking cherries bloomed under ice while citrus trees died. I made syrup from frozen berries, a taste of summer in February darkness. For small yards, grow dwarf Nanking Select in half barrels. Sink barrels into the ground, mulch heavily with straw. In extreme cold, -30 degrees Fahrenheit, wrap trunks with burlap stuffed with dry leaves. Warning: birds devour ripe berries. Drape bushes with tulle netting before berries color. Never prune in fall. Winter injury invites canker. Harvest window: 2 weeks in July. Pick at dawn when sugars peak. This bush teaches the sweetest gifts come wrapped in resilience.
Plant number 6, Good King Henry, the peasant spinach. There's a green that pushes through snow before crocuses dare. Good King Henry, the forgotten perennial spinach of medieval Europe. Monks grow it in cloister gardens to feed the poor during Lenten fasts. Its secret? Cold stratification. Seeds won't sprout until exposed to 60 days below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Nature's way of ensuring seedlings emerge in spring. But its true magic is nutrition without fuss. While annual spinach bolts in heat, this plant thrives in cool springs and autumns, yielding 3 harvests yearly. I lost my entire vegetable garden to a late freeze in 2022, but Good King Henry? It was the first green thing I ate that May, sautéed with wild garlic. That's not a weed, it's ancestral wisdom. Why it's essential for food security? Frost defiance. Sprouts at 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Leaves taste sweeter after light frosts. Perennial protein. 5 grams protein per cooked cup, more than kale. Critical when meat is scarce. Soil healer. Deep taproots, 4+ feet. Pull nutrients from subsoil, enriching topsoil as leaves decompose. Weed suppression. Forms dense clumps that choke out invasive species like creeping Charlie. Planting your survival patch. Seed ritual. Sow seeds in fall directly on soil. Scratch lightly, then cover with 1 inch of leaf mold. Snow insulates them through winter. Harvest ethics. Never cut outer leaves. Snap off central stems at soil line. Plants regrow 3 times bushier within weeks. Winter protection. After first frost, mulch with straw. In spring, uncover when soil temp hits 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Sacred memory. During World War II rationing, my grandmother fed her village with Good King Henry from bomb crater gardens. She'd whispered to the plants, "Grow strong, we need you." For renters, grow in deep window boxes on a shady porch. Use soil mix, 50% potting soil, plus 50% composted leaves. Harvest baby leaves all winter near a sunny window. Warning, contains oxalates. Cook before eating, unlike spinach. Never harvest after flowering. Leaves turn bitter. Companion plant with horseradish, their pungent roots repel leaf miners. This green's covenant, the humblest plants hold the deepest roots. Plant number 7, ostrich fern, Mott tuchia strutiopteris, the fiddlehead feast. Look at that thawing riverbank where snow still clings to shadows. See those tight green spirals coiled like sleeping snakes? Fiddleheads, the edible shoots of ostrich fern. Native Americans call them spring's first breath, a detoxifier after meat-heavy winters. But their true gift is timing. They emerge when little else does. April in Maine, May in Minnesota, bridging the hunger gap before gardens yield. Their secret? Rhizomes.
Thick, horizontal roots store energy 18 inches underground below the frost line, waiting for soil temps to hit 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I foraged the same patch my Abenaki friend showed me in 1998. We never take more than 1/3 of shoots, always leaving the mother fronds to photosynthesize. That reciprocity keeps the patch thriving for generations. Why their cold climate gold? Frost-tolerant emergence. Shoots appear even with night temps near freezing. Zero cultivation. Thrives in floodplains where gardens wash away. No weeding, no fertilizing. Nutritional burst. 1 cup provides 100% of daily vitamin A, critical after sunless winters. Wildlife harmony. Deer avoid them. Butterflies lay eggs on mature fronds. Ethical foraging protocol. ID ritual. Only harvest where mature fronds grow in vase-shaped clusters, not scattered. True ostrich ferns have brown, papery scales on shoots. Sustainable harvest. Take only 3 shoots per crown. Never harvest near roads. Car exhaust toxins concentrate in ferns. Winter care. After first frost, leave dead fronds standing. They insulate rhizomes and provide bird habitat. Heartfelt moment. During the 2008 recession, fiddleheads fed my family for weeks. I'd saute them in bacon fat with ramps, a taste of hope when paychecks vanished. For gardeners, create a fiddlehead garden in damp shade. Transplant wild crowns in fall with landowner permission. Amend soil with leaf mold and river sand. Warning: never eat raw. Contains shikimic acid. Causes nausea. Boil 15 minutes, then saute. False hellebore looks similar but is deadly. Only harvest where you've seen mature, feathery fronds in summer. This fern's wisdom? True abundance isn't taking, it's receiving with gratitude.
Plant 8. Jerusalem artichoke. Helianthus tuberosus. The underground sun. Beneath that frozen crust lies a buried treasure, Jerusalem artichokes, or sunchokes. Native sunflowers whose tubers store sunshine for winter. Their secret? Inulin. This prebiotic fiber replaces starch, making tubers sweet after frosts while resisting rot in soggy spring soil. During the 1930s Dust Bowl, they fed Oklahoma families when wheat failed. I've dug them through 2 feet of snow, crisp, nutty, and radiant as buried sunbeams. But their deepest magic? Soil repair. Their 12-foot-deep roots break up clay, pulling nutrients from bedrock while sequestering carbon. One patch rebuilds topsoil faster than any cover crop. This isn't just food, it's land healing. Why they're your winter lifeline? Cold immortality. Tubers survive negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit, regrowing from fragments left in soil. Flood tolerance. Thrives in wet clay where potatoes rot. Tolerates 2 weeks of standing water. Nutrition without input. Zero fertilizer needed. Tubers pack iron, potassium, and prebiotics for gut health. Wildlife sanctuary. Seed heads feed finches all winter. Stems shelter overwintering ladybugs. Planting your resilience bank. Soil ritual. Dig trenches 6 inches deep in full sun. Plant tubers 12 inches apart. No soil amendments. They thrive in poor ground. Harvest rhythm. Wait until after first frost, October, for sweetest flavor. Dig only what you need. Tubers store better in ground than in root cellars. Pest defense. Sprinkle wood ash around plants. Repels voles without killing them. Transformation story. After Alberta's 2013 floods, sunchokes were the first crop in submerged fields. Families harvested tubers while waters receded, boiling them with wild onions. For small spaces, grow dwarf sunray in half barrels. Drill drainage holes. Mulch heavily with straw in winter.
Warning: this causes gas if eaten raw. Roast, boil, or ferment. Never plant near lawns. It spreads aggressively. But in marginal land, that's a gift. Harvest window, October to March. Tubers left in ground sprout new plants each spring. This tuber teaches, what looks like death is often deep rest, a promise of return.
Plant number 9. Chive. Allium shonoporosum, the frost flower. See that dusting of snow on your windowsill planter? Now watch chive blossoms push through like purple snowflakes. Chives, the herb that laughs at frost. Its secret? Corms. Not bulbs, but layered underground stems that multiply yearly, storing energy below the freeze line. But its true gift is continuity. While basil dies at first chilled, chives bloom from April to November, then hunker down to feed you wild garlic pesto in February. I keep pots on my unheated porch. They freeze solid, yet sprout green spears by March 1st. My Sami grandmother braided dried chive flowers into sun charms to hang over doorways during polar nights. That's not superstition, it's embodied hope. Why they're your cold climate anchor? Deep freeze tolerance. Corms survive minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit with 6 inches of mulch. Year-round harvest. Snip leaves all winter near a sunny window. Flowers in May are edible confetti. Medicinal depth. Allicin fights winter infections. Quercetin reduces allergy symptoms from indoor mold. Pest guardian. Repels aphids from roses and apple trees when planted nearby. Planting your living spice rack. Pot protocol. Use wide, shallow containers, 6 inches deep, with drainage holes. Soil, 50% potting mix plus 50% sand. Terracotta only, plastic cracks in freeze-thaw cycles. Division ritual. Every 3 years in early spring, dig clumps, pull apart into fist-sized sections, replant 4 inches apart. Winter harvest. After first frost, cut leaves to 2 inches, mulch heavily. In February, move the pot to a cool, bright window. New growth appears in 10 days. Sacred moment. During chemotherapy winters, chive tea, steeped with lemon balm, was the only thing that eased nausea. I'd sit by my frost-rimmed window, watching buds swell under ice. Proof that life persists. For renters, grow in thrifted enamelware bowls on a south windowsill. No outdoor space needed. They thrive indoors with 4 hours of sun. Warning: Allium rust fungus thrives in humid winters. Prevent by spacing pots for airflow and avoiding overhead watering. Harvest window: year-round. Never take more than 1/3 of the leaves at once. This herb's covenant. Even when the world is frozen, your roots remember how to feed you.
Plant number 10, Siberian pea shrub, Caragana arborescens, the hungry winter tree. Look at that barren field where snowdrifts swallow fence posts. Now imagine a tree heavy with pea-like pods in minus 30-degree Fahrenheit winds. Siberian pea shrub, the Arctic's protein machine. Native to Mongolian steppes, it survived ice ages by fixing nitrogen in frozen soil. Its secret? Deep taproots. While apples freeze at 2 feet deep, pea shrub roots drill 20 feet down to geothermal warmth. But its true superpower is timing. Pods dry on branches all winter, dropping seeds in spring when soil thaws. I planted it after floods washed away my topsoil. Within 2 years, it fed my chickens when grain shipments froze, and its branches blocked blizzards from my chicken coop. That's not a tree, it's a covenant with survival. Why it's essential for food sovereignty? Cold Titan survives minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Flowers tolerate late frosts that kill fruit trees. Soil Rebuilder fixes nitrogen in sterile sand or clay, perfect for reclaiming mining sites. Wildlife Fortress. Dense branches shelter birds from minus 40-degree Fahrenheit winds, and pods feed squirrels when snow covers acorns. Human Nutrition. Dried peas pack 25% protein, more than lentils, critical when meat is scarce. Planting your food forest. Location ritual. Plant on north property lines as windbreaks. Space trees 8 feet apart. They form impenetrable hedges. Soil Truth. Thrives in pure sand or clay, no amendments needed. Dig holes twice as wide as roots. Harvest Ritual. Collect pods after first frost, they dry on branches. Shell the peas, then roast with sea salt. Heartfelt Revelation. During Russia's 1998 economic collapse, Siberian pea shrubs fed villages when stores ran empty. One elder told me, when the government fails, the tree remembers. For small yards, grow dwarf pendula in half barrels. Sink barrels into the ground, mulch with straw. In extreme cold, wrap trunks with burlap stuffed with dry leaves. Warning, invasive in prairie ecosystems, never plant near wild grasslands. Pods are toxic raw, always cook peas thoroughly. Prune only in late winter to avoid sap bleeding. This tree's wisdom, the deepest roots are grown in the harshest seasons.
Conclusion. Your perennial promise. We've walked with 10 cold climate warriors today. Ramps, rhubarb, horseradish, sea buckthorn, Nanking cherry, good King Henry, ostrich fern, Jerusalem artichoke, chives, and Siberian pea shrub. But this isn't just a plant list. It's a return to belonging. I know the voice whispering, but my soil is frozen rock. My growing season is 90 days. My hands are too tired. I've been there. Years ago, after a late frost killed every seedling I'd started, I sat in my snowmelt mud, tears freezing on my cheeks. Then I dug up a Jerusalem artichoke tuber, planted it, watered it with that salty water. That fall, I harvested 15 pounds of nutty treasure from that single act of stubborn hope. Your sacred action plan starts today. Not with grand gestures, but with radical smallness. Choose one plant that sang to your bones today. Order seeds tonight, no waiting for perfect soil. Find your hardest patch of ground, that eroded slope, that clay pit, that abandoned corner. Press seeds into that wound. Make a promise to the earth, I will not take more than I give. I will leave enough for the frost, the fox, the future. I know the doubt hissing, what difference can my tiny garden make? Let me answer with data. A single rhubarb patch feeds a family for 20 years. One sea buckthorn hedge prevents 5 tons of topsoil erosion yearly. When you plant perennials, you're not just growing food, you're growing insurance against chaos. But more importantly, when your child tastes their first ramp after a long winter, when neighbors knock on your door asking for rhubarb pie filling during a storm, you're not just feeding bodies, you're feeding hope with roots. This is the gardener's covenant I offer you tonight. I will not fear the freeze. I will plant anyway. I will not hoard my harvest. I will share cuttings like sacred seeds. Before you go, do this holy thing. Step outside barefoot, yes, even on snow. Feel the frozen earth beneath your soles. Breathe its ancient breath. Whisper, I remember you. I trust you. That vibration in your feet, that's the first root pushing through darkness. If this hour fed your spirit, pay it forward. Share seeds with a neighbor. Tape a rhubarb root to a coffee shop bulletin board with a note for anyone needing hope this spring. Subscribe for our next journey, Root Cellar Renaissance, storing cold climate harvests without electricity. We'll build $20 sand storage bins that keep carrots crisp for 8 months and ferment ramps into immunity elixirs. You are not alone. As I speak, elders in Nunavut tend sea buckthorn on permafrost. Teens in Detroit grow Nanking cherries on vacant rots. Single mothers in Siberia harvest Siberian pea shrubs after minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit nights. We are the quiet keepers of deep-rooted hope. Our weapons are trowels. Our battle cry is grow anyway. Thank you for your courage, your hands in the frozen soil, your refusal to let winter have the final word. However small your plot, however deep the snow, your feast awaits. Until next time, keep tending, keep sharing, keep your roots deep in the living earth. This is not the end of gardening, it's the beginning of its deepest purpose. I'm honored to grow alongside you. Good night and blessed.